In 2013, more than 6,000 cases of child abuse and neglect were substantiated by the Oklahoma Department of Human Services, involving more than 11,000 children. The number of child abuse and neglect cases has declined in recent years, but it's believed the number of children mistreated is much higher than that because so many cases go unreported.
Child Abuse Prevention Day at the Oklahoma State Capitol this year drew hundreds of people whose jobs are to prevent child abuse and neglect and to protect children. Among those attending, Rodney Timms, the owner of Western Flyer Express, one of the largest trucking companies in Oklahoma. He now lets his son run the company so he can devote his energies to preventing what happened to him as a child.
You've got to understand, we're creating monsters in our own homes, and we have to stop it, but that's where it was leading me.
Tim says the earliest memory he has of being abused was at the age of 4. He was living at this home in Frederick with his mother, father, and 2 sisters when his father started a reign of violence against him. Tim says the beatings he endured came for no other reason than his father's rage and enjoyment of inflicting pain. He says beatings continued throughout his childhood and adolescence. Timms has written a book about what happened to him and how he survived. Included in the book is his memory of what happened at the age of 15, the day he says his father almost killed him.
He spent an hour and a half beating me. My eyes swelled shut. I couldn't see for like a week. Had internal bleeding.
It happened on the side of the road as the family was driving back to their home in Hollister. According to Timms, his mother never intervened, then or ever.
I mean, they covered me up with a quilt to get me in the house, and they would not take me anywhere to a doctor because my mother or him, either one, wanted anybody to know what had happened. So I was throwing up blood. I was having all kinds of problems. They would not take me to the doctor.
Child abuse and neglect takes many forms and can have lasting effects.
And when stress chemicals elevate in the brain and bloodstream for long periods of time, they change the development of the neurological system in the body.
Keynote speaker at the Child Abuse Prevention Day conference, Laura Porter, presented findings of a study which she believes may be the largest public health discovery of our time. The study used 10 categories of adverse child experiences, or ACEs. They include 3 forms of abuse, 2 forms of neglect, and 5 categories of household dysfunction. Porter says the higher number of ACEs a child experiences dramatically influences health and behavior.
85% of the kids with high ACE scores begun to be suspended from school in 2nd grade. So if you're not safe at home and you're not welcome in school, we don't actually have much other infrastructure that helps children belong.
She says high ACE scores have detrimental effects throughout society.
We see the direct relationship between ACE score and serious and persistent mental illness, depression, which is the largest disabling condition in our nation, and the highest relationship between ACEs and a health problem is between ACEs and suicide attempts.
Porter says the research also shows why teaching has become increasingly harder.
26% of our adult population has 3 or more ACEs. 42% of our 10th graders have 3 or more ACEs. So when teachers are saying, actually the classrooms are really different now, it's probably because they are.
Porter says the ACE scores will escalate from generation to generation unless the cycle is interrupted. Tim says he stopped the cycle of abuse in his family through religion and learning to love, but he still carries physical and mental scars. His father is deceased, and he no longer has communication with his mother.
She told me one time when I went public about it that I should never have done it and that I should be able to forget it. And I said, Mother, I'm not ever going to forget that. And I'm certainly not going to forget that you did nothing to try to stop it.